In the autumn of 1957, a chill wind swept across the globe as a new era dawned, igniting imaginations and ambitions that stretched beyond the confines of Earth. From the bustling streets of Moscow to the quiet towns scattered across America, anticipation crackled like static in the air. On October 4th, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite, into the cosmos. It was a metallic marvel, a sphere adorned with four long antennae that sent beeps across the ether, a simple yet profound message. Humanity was reaching for the stars. As the beeping signal echoed in radio stations worldwide, it sent ripples of awe and anxiety through the hearts of millions. The space race had officially begun. In the United States, the launch ignited a fervor that would reshape education and innovation. Young students suddenly found themselves captivated by the mysteries of space. Classrooms buzzed with talk of rockets, orbits, and the potential of life beyond Earth. The excitement transcended borders, sparking curiosity that spurred young minds to dream beyond the blue sky. As months turned to years, the world watched as the Soviet Union continued to take bold strides. In 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit the Earth, his journey carving a place in history that would inspire generations. People gathered around radios and televisions, their eyes wide with wonder, as Gagarin's joyous voice returned to Earth. "I see Earth. It is so beautiful." His flight was not merely a triumph for the Soviet Union, it was a shared human achievement, a testament to what was possible when nations dared to dream together. Yet the United States, fueled by a spirit of competition and determination, was resolute in its efforts to catch up. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy delivered a stirring speech at Rice University, proclaiming the ambitious goal of landing a man on the moon. "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard." His words ignited a sense of purpose, uniting a nation to rally behind the dream of lunar exploration. The race reached a breathtaking climax on July 20, 1969, with the Apollo 11 mission. As Neil Armstrong descended the ladder of the lunar module, the world held its breath. "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind," he declared, and with those words, humanity's spirit soared beyond the confines of Earth. The moon, once a distant dream, was now a reality, a celestial body that bore witness to human ingenuity and perseverance. The years that followed brought further achievements and milestones. Space stations were built, satellites revolutionized communication, and scientific discoveries flourished. The space race had sparked an era of collaboration, leading to the formation of international partnerships and a shared understanding of the fragility of our planet. By 1975, the Apollo-Soyuz test project symbolized the end of the rivalry, as American and Soviet astronauts joined hands in a historic mission, conducting experiments and exchanging knowledge. It was not merely a convergence of technology, it was an affirmation of humanity's capacity to unite in the pursuit of knowledge and exploration. The inspiring saga of the space race, a tale of ambition, innovation, and collaboration, left an indelible mark on history. It broadened horizons, not just in the realm of science, but in the hearts of those who dared to dream. The stars, once distant, now glimmered with the promise of possibilities yet to unfold, a reminder that together we can reach for the cosmos. On the crisp morning of October 4, 1957, the world was enveloped in a hushed anticipation, a stillness that hung in the air like the breath before a great revelation. In the remote expanse of the Baikonur Cosmodrome, nestled in the vast steppes of Kazakhstan, a monumental event was about to unfold. The sun peeked over the horizon, casting a golden hue across the landscape, illuminating the towering structure of the launch pad, where history awaited its monumental moment. At precisely 10:28 a.m. Moscow time, the sound of roaring engines shattered the tranquil silence. A sleek metallic rocket, the R-7, ignited with a fierce determination, sending plumes of smoke spiraling into the azure sky. With an astonishing force, it lifted off, leaving behind the Earth as it soared toward the heavens. The world watched in awe as the rocket carried with it a small, spherical object, the world's first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1. As the satellite ascended, it became a beacon, a harbinger of a new era in human achievement. Sputnik 1, no larger than a beach ball, and adorned with four long antennas, sent out a rhythmic beeping signal that echoed through the vastness of space. This simple sound was a call to humanity, a reminder of the boundless possibilities that lay beyond the confines of Earth. News of the launch spread like wildfire. In the United States, classrooms buzzed with excitement and concern. Children huddled around radios, their eyes wide with wonder and a touch of apprehension as they listened to the beeping from the satellite overhead. It was a new chapter in the ongoing narrative of the Cold War, yet it also sparked an unprecedented curiosity about the cosmos. Scientifically, the implications of Sputnik 1 were profound. It marked the dawn of the space age, igniting a race not merely for supremacy, but for understanding the vast universe that enveloped humanity. Scientists and engineers across the globe were inspired to push the boundaries of their knowledge. Universities began to swell with students eager to explore physics, engineering, and astronomy. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, was born from this fervor in the United States, driven by a determination to not only catch up, but to innovate and excel. In the years that followed, the spirit of exploration flourished. The success of Sputnik 1 led to a cascade of achievements. The first human in space, Yuri Gagarin, orbited the Earth in 1961, followed by the Apollo missions that ultimately placed men on the Moon in 1969. Each step forward was a testament to human ingenuity, a collective leap toward the stars. Yet beyond the realm of scientific discovery, Sputnik 1 served as a powerful symbol of unity. It inspired international collaboration, sparking conversations that transcended borders. The world began to see itself not merely as isolated nations, but as a shared community on a fragile blue planet, spinning through the cosmos. As the years rolled on, the legacy of that pivotal day in October 1957 grew ever more profound. Sputnik 1 was more than just a satellite. It was a catalyst for change, igniting dreams and aspirations that propelled humanity into the unknown. And in its beeping signal, there resonated a promise that the thirst for knowledge would forever guide the human spirit, urging it to reach for the stars. On the chilly morning of October 4th, 1957, the quiet hum of life in the Soviet city of Baikonur was interrupted by an unprecedented symphony of machinery and ambition. As dawn broke, the colossal structure of the R-7 rocket, towering against the pale sky, stood poised for a moment that would echo through the corridors of history. The world held its breath as engineers, scientists, and citizens gathered, their eyes fixed on the towering titan of technology that promised to unleash humanity's dreams into the cosmos. With a thunderous roar, the R-7 ignited, its engines belching a plume of fire and smoke that streaked across the sky. The rocket rose majestically, tearing through the atmosphere with a force born from the collective effort of thousands who had dedicated their lives to the pursuit of knowledge. Inside the rocket's payload lay Sputnik 1, a gleaming sphere adorned with four delicate antennas and a surface that gleamed like a new star. It was a mere 58 centimeters in diameter, yet its significance was boundless. As Sputnik 1 ascended into the heavens, a new era unfurled beneath it, a chapter that would reshape the world. The satellite, spinning gracefully in its orbit, began transmitting a simple series of beeps, rhythmic and steady, a heartbeat echoing in the vast silence of space. This signal was more than a sound. It was a declaration of human ingenuity and the dawn of the space age. Across the globe, radios crackled to life as the first beeps of Sputnik 1 reached the ears of curious listeners. In homes from Moscow to Manhattan, children and adults alike gazed up at the night sky, their imaginations ignited by the realization that humanity had reached beyond its earthly confines. In the weeks and months that followed, the launch of Sputnik 1 sent ripples of excitement and trepidation across nations. The space race had begun, a fierce competition that would spur advancements in science, technology, and education. Nations scrambled to comprehend the implications of satellite technology, recognizing its potential to revolutionize communication and weather forecasting. The first images of weather patterns captured by satellites would soon change how humanity understood and interacted with its environment, saving countless lives through improved forecasting techniques. Schools began to buzz with the dream of space exploration, and classrooms filled with the sounds of eager children discussing the cosmos. Universities, once bastions of terrestrial studies, expanded their curricula to include astrophysics and space engineering, nurturing a new generation of thinkers and dreamers. The wheels of progress turned rapidly, fueled by the spirit of competition and the quest for knowledge. Yet, the significance of Sputnik 1 extended far beyond the geopolitical landscape. It was a testament to collaboration. Engineers and scientists from diverse backgrounds united in their passion for discovery, sharing insights and breakthroughs that transcended borders. The launch inspired an international dialogue about the importance of space exploration, leading to cooperative efforts that would later result in remarkable achievements such as the Apollo moon landings and the International Space Station. As the days turned into months and the months into years, the small, unassuming sphere continued its silent vigil around Earth, a beacon of hope and a reminder of what could be accomplished when humanity dared to reach for the stars. The legacy of Sputnik 1 would endure, not just as a symbol of national pride, but as an everlasting reminder that the universe was within reach, sparking dreams that would inspire generations to come. As the world turned the page to the late 1950s, the atmosphere was charged with both innovation and apprehension. The summer of 1957 had witnessed a monumental shift in the global landscape, when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, into the cosmos. The beeping signal from space echoed not just across the Earth, but deep within the hearts of Americans, stirring a blend of pride in scientific achievement and urgency in national security. The race to the stars had begun, and the stakes had never been higher. In response, the United States found itself at a pivotal crossroads, grappling with a renewed sense of purpose. On September 2, 1958, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed into law the National Defense Education Act, a landmark piece of legislation that would forever alter the educational landscape of the nation. With the echo of Sputnik still resonating, the act aimed to bolster the educational system, particularly in fields deemed vital to national defense: science, mathematics, and foreign languages. The atmosphere in Washington, D.C. was electric, as educators, politicians, and scientists convened to discuss the implications of this bold initiative. This was not merely a response to a satellite, it was an awakening to the potential of American ingenuity. The halls of Congress buzzed with the fervor of a nation committed to fostering intellectual growth and innovation. As the ink dried on the document, a vision emerged, one that would empower a new generation to reach for the stars, both literally and metaphorically. Across the nation, educators embraced this newfound momentum. Classrooms transformed into vibrant hubs of inquiry, where students experimented with chemistry sets and explored the principles of physics in hands-on learning environments. Young minds were engaged in discussions about the universe, propelled by the knowledge that their studies could lead them to contribute to the very fabric of scientific discovery. Schools began to receive funding for improved facilities, updated textbooks, and innovative programs aimed at nurturing critical thinking and creativity. In small towns and bustling cities alike, the act inspired an influx of dedicated individuals determined to become the next generation of thinkers. Universities expanded their programs, welcoming a diverse array of students eager to delve into the mysteries of science and technology. The NDEA also established scholarships and loans, ensuring that financial barriers would not inhibit the brightest minds. The result was a remarkable surge in enrollment in STEM fields, paving the way for future pioneers. The achievements of this period were profound and far-reaching. The development of satellites and space exploration technologies flourished, laying the groundwork for future missions to the moon and beyond. Discoveries in medicine, engineering, and computer science emerged from the halls of universities that had benefited from the act, driving forward the American spirit of innovation and resilience. As the years rolled on, it became evident that the true impact of the National Defense Education Act extended beyond national security. It ignited a cultural renaissance. The ideals of collaboration and inquiry took root, inspiring movements in education reform that would resonate for decades. In the heart of America, the legacy of the NDEA lived on, a testament to a nation's ability to unite in the face of challenge and to invest in the potential of its youth. It was a promise that in striving for excellence, the stars were not merely a destination, but a reminder of what could be achieved when a country dares to dream together. The chill of October 4th, 1957, settled over the globe, yet it was the warmth of curiosity and ambition that ignited a firestorm of innovation across the United States. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the sprawling campuses of universities and research institutions, a new era dawned. The world watched in awe as the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, into the cold abyss of space. Its beeping signal, a simple yet profound sound, resonated not just through the atmosphere but deep into the hearts of Americans, awakening a collective resolve to rise to the challenge. In the wake of this unprecedented event, the halls of Congress buzzed with urgency. The National Defense Education Act, passed in 1958, emerged as a beacon of hope and a clarion call for change. The legislation was designed to bolster education in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, fields that would prove critical in the race to the stars. With a budget of $1 billion, it was a bold commitment to nurturing a generation of thinkers, creators, and innovators. As the echoes of Sputnik faded, classrooms transformed across the nation. Schools equipped with new laboratories and updated textbooks buzzed with excitement, where once there had been stagnation. Teachers, invigorated by the knowledge that they were shaping the future, dedicated themselves to inspiring their students. It was not uncommon to find children hunched over desks, eyes sparkling with wonder, as they dissected the mysteries of physics, chemistry, and astronomy. The air was filled with the scent of freshly printed worksheets and the faint hum of scientific inquiry. In these hallowed halls of learning, young minds began to take flight. Among them was a bright-eyed girl named Margaret, who spent her afternoons immersed in the pages of books about the cosmos. Under the guidance of her passionate teacher, Mr. Jefferson, she grasped the fundamentals of rocket propulsion and orbital mechanics. "The sky is not the limit, my dear," he would say, his voice filled with conviction. "It is merely the beginning." Margaret, and many like her, began to dream beyond the confines of their small towns, envisioning themselves as part of a grand adventure that reached beyond the stars. By the mid-1960s, the fruits of the NDEA were evident. The first American astronauts, equipped with the skills honed by this educational renaissance, prepared for their missions. The Apollo program, fueled by the resolve of a nation and the intellect of its youth, took giant leaps forward. Engineers like Margaret, now a graduate with a degree in aerospace engineering, worked tirelessly in laboratories, modeling trajectories and testing materials that would one day carry humanity to the moon. The air crackled with ambition and possibility. July 20th, 1969, marked a pinnacle achievement as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin made their historic steps on the lunar surface. The world stood still in disbelief, united in a moment of triumph that echoed the efforts of countless individuals who had answered the call of the NDEA. The success was not merely a reflection of technological prowess. It was a testament to the power of education and the indomitable spirit of inquiry. As the years rolled on, the legacy of the National Defense Education Act continued to flourish. The seeds of knowledge planted during this pivotal era grew into a lush landscape of innovation, producing generations of scientists and engineers who would push the boundaries of exploration further into the cosmos. And through it all, the spirit of those early dreamers like Margaret lived on, a reminder that when faced with challenges, humanity has the capacity to rise, learn, and reach for the stars. On November 3rd, 1957, the world held its breath, eyes glued to the skies, as the Soviet Union prepared to unveil a monumental chapter in the annals of human exploration. The air was thick with anticipation, a palpable excitement that surged like a current through the hearts of millions. This day would mark a pivotal leap into the cosmos, a moment that would echo through history, and at the heart of this audacious endeavor was a small, unassuming dog named Laika. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden hue over the launch pad in Baikonur, Kazakhstan, the Vostok 1 rocket stood tall, a gleaming testament to human ingenuity and ambition. The metallic behemoth, adorned with the proud insignia of the Soviet space program, hummed with the energy of the unknown. Inside its capsule, Laika nestled in her cushioned harness, a mixed-breed dog plucked from the streets of Moscow, unaware of the extraordinary journey that lay ahead. Laika was more than just a dog. She was a symbol of hope and the embodiment of a new era. With her soulful eyes and gentle demeanor, she had been chosen for her adaptability and resilience, traits that would serve her well in the vast expanse of space. As the countdown began, Scientists and engineers watched closely, their hearts racing, knowing that this mission would not only test the limits of technology, but also the very essence of life itself. 3, 2, 1, ignition. The roar of the rocket engines shattered the silence, a thunderous applause that reverberated across the steps. With a shudder, the Vostok roared to life, lifting off with a grace that belied its size. Laika's world transformed in an instant, as the capsule, cocooned in metal, pierced the atmosphere, leaving behind the familiar embrace of Earth. As the rocket ascended, the blue orb below shrank into a distant memory. Laika experienced weightlessness for the first time, her heart racing as she floated gently within her cabin. The scientists had equipped her with a series of monitors, tracking her vital signs and reactions to the alien environment. They were not merely sending a creature into space, they were conducting a crucial experiment that would pave the way for future human spaceflight. For nearly 7 hours, Laika orbited Earth, her presence a beacon of hope and courage. Though the mission was fraught with uncertainty, her journey was a testament to the resilience of life. Back on the ground, people from all walks of life gathered around radios and televisions, transfixed by the news of her voyage. Laika became a symbol of peace and unity, transcending borders and ideologies, as the world united in wonder at the vastness of the universe. The mission concluded with Laika's capsule re-entering the atmosphere, a brave pioneer whose legacy would inspire generations to come. Though she did not survive the mission, Laika's impact was profound, igniting a fire of curiosity and exploration in the hearts of humankind. In the years that followed, her journey would lay the groundwork for manned space flights, unveiling the mysteries of space and leading to the remarkable achievements of the Apollo missions and beyond. Laika's spirit soared among the stars, a silent guardian of the dreams that beckoned us to explore the cosmos, reminding us that even the smallest of beings can ignite the greatest of aspirations. On November 3, 1957, the world held its breath as a small silver sphere pierced the vast blue expanse of the sky, leaving behind the familiar comforts of Earth. This was no ordinary launch. It was a bold declaration of humanity's insatiable curiosity and relentless pursuit of knowledge. Inside that sphere, nestled among wires and instruments designed to measure the unknown, lay a gentle creature, Laika, a small mixed-breed dog, chosen for a mission that would forever change the course of scientific history. Laika had been plucked from the streets of Moscow, a scruffy, unassuming dog with bright eyes that sparkled with an innocent curiosity. She had no idea that she was destined to become a symbol of exploration, an emblem of hope and sacrifice in the nascent era of space travel. As she was gently placed inside Sputnik 2, she was surrounded by the whir of machinery and the scent of metal, her heart racing in rhythm with the pulse of the universe beyond. As the rocket launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, the ground shook beneath the feet of engineers and scientists, their faces illuminated by the glow of monitors displaying telemetry data. They were witnessing a monumental achievement, a feat of engineering that had taken years of hard work and dedication. The satellite soared higher and higher, breaking free from the gravitational pull of Earth, and soon Laika was enveloped in the vastness of space, a pioneer in a realm where no living being had ventured before. Inside Sputnik 2, the temperature fluctuated and the air pressure shifted, challenging Laika's delicate constitution. Scientists on the ground monitored her every heartbeat, every movement through a series of radio transmissions. The data they gathered would be invaluable, painting a vivid picture of how living organisms responded to the harsh realities of space travel. They learned that the journey was not without its challenges. Laika experienced stress, her breathing quickened, and her heart raced. Yet through it all, she remained a beacon of resilience. The mission lasted for a harrowing few days. Laika's fate was a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of scientific exploration. On November 10th, just a week after her journey began, the world would learn of her passing. While some mourned, many celebrated the wealth of information gathered from her brave flight. Laika had become more than just a dog. She was a catalyst for change, propelling the scientific community to address the ethical dimensions of animal testing, while igniting a feverish passion for human space exploration. As the years unfolded, her legacy endured. The data collected from Laika's journey laid the groundwork for the subsequent human missions that would follow. It spurred advancements in life support systems, medical knowledge, and the understanding of how human beings would fare in the cold, unyielding expanses of space. Scientists began to focus on the creation of safer spacecraft and improved training methods for astronauts, ensuring that the sacrifices of Laika would not be in vain. In the decades that followed, Laika's story transformed from one of loss to one of inspiration. As the Apollo missions captured the world's imagination and humanity set foot on the moon, Laika's spirit soared alongside them, a constant reminder of the bravery required to venture into the unknown. Her journey opened the door to a new era, where the sky was no longer the limit, but just the beginning of a grand adventure, an adventure that would unite the globe in the quest for knowledge and understanding of the cosmos. On the morning of July 29, 1958, the sun cast a golden hue over the bustling streets of Washington, D.C. The air was thick with anticipation as the nation stood on the cusp of a new era. The echoes of the Cold War still resonated, but in this moment, there was a palpable sense of unity, a collective heartbeat that pulsed with the promise of discovery. It was a day that would mark a pivotal turning point in human exploration, the formation of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. In the backdrop of the 1957 launch of Sputnik by the Soviet Union, the American spirit surged with a fierce determination. The successful launch of the first artificial satellite had jolted the nation awake. It was a wake-up call that ignited a fervor for space exploration. In response, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, recognizing the potential of space to advance both science and national security, established NASA. The agency would not only lead the charge into the cosmos, but also symbolize the innovative spirit of a nation yearning to reach beyond its earthly confines. As the sun rose higher, the new agency began to assemble a cadre of the brightest minds in science and engineering. The offices of NASA were abuzz with excitement, a veritable hive of creativity and ambition. The walls adorned with blueprints and illustrations of spacecraft hinted at the breathtaking possibilities that lay ahead. Scientists, engineers, and visionaries from across the country converged, fueled by an insatiable curiosity and a commitment to push the boundaries of human knowledge. Within this vibrant atmosphere, the Mercury program was born. It was the United States' first human spaceflight endeavor, designed to answer the fundamental question that had persisted since the dawn of humanity. What lies beyond our atmosphere? The Mercury astronauts, known as the Mercury 7, emerged as iconic figures, each embodying the courage and spirit of exploration. They trained tirelessly, undergoing rigorous physical and psychological evaluations, preparing for the unknown. As the program gained momentum, the world watched in awe. On May 5, 1961, Alan Shepard became the first American to travel into space, a brief but historic 15-minute flight that sent shockwaves of joy and pride through the nation. A month later, John Glenn's orbital flight around Earth captured hearts and minds as he became the first American to achieve this feat. With every launch, hope soared higher, and the dream of exploring the vastness of space transformed from a distant fantasy into a tangible reality. The Mercury program laid the groundwork for future endeavors, igniting a passion for exploration that would lead to the Apollo missions and ultimately to humanity's first steps on the lunar surface in 1969. NASA's formation was not merely about rockets and satellites. It represented the embodiment of human ingenuity, the relentless pursuit of knowledge, and the unyielding desire to conquer the unknown. In the years that followed, as the Mercury program transitioned into more ambitious projects, the impact of NASA's work rippled across the globe. Innovations in technology, medicine, and environmental science emerged from the research conducted in the name of space exploration, benefiting life on Earth in ways that were yet to be fully realized. The legacy of NASA and the Mercury program endures, a testament to the power of collaboration, aspiration, and the indomitable human spirit. It reminds us that when we dare to dream, the universe is ours to explore, and the stars are not just distant lights in the sky, they are destinations waiting to be reached. As the sun dipped below the horizon on a crisp October evening in 1957, the world held its breath. The hum of anticipation surged through the air, electrifying the hearts of millions. In the quiet town of Cape Canaveral, Florida, engineers and scientists bustled about, their minds racing with ambition and dreams that soared far beyond their earthly confines. Just a few days earlier, the Soviet Union had launched Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, into the great abyss of space, igniting a fierce new chapter in the Cold War and sparking a global fascination with the stars. The following year, inspired by this newfound urgency, the United States took a bold step forward. On July 29, 1958, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the National Aeronautics and Space Act into law, birthing the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA. The agency emerged not just as a governmental body, but as a beacon of hope, a promise to the American people that they would not only compete, but prevail in the race to explore the cosmos. With NASA's establishment, the Mercury program was launched, aiming to send humans into space for the first time. A cadre of eager astronauts, dubbed the Mercury 7, were selected from a pool of the nation's finest pilots, each of whom embodied the spirit of adventure and the tenacity of the American dream. Among them was Alan Shepard, a charismatic figure whose ambitions shone as brightly as the stars he aspired to reach. As the months rolled into years, the nation watched as the Mercury program prepared for its inaugural mission. The atmosphere was charged with excitement, and families gathered around their radios and television sets, eyes wide with wonder. On May 5, 1961, a moment etched in history unfolded at Cape Canaveral. The countdown began, each passing second igniting a fervor within the hearts of those who believed in the impossible. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. The words echoed like thunder across the land. The Freedom 7 rocket roared to life, defying gravity as it ascended into the azure sky. Alan Shepard, strapped securely in the capsule, felt the rush of adrenaline as he soared higher than any American had before. For a brief, exhilarating moment, he was unshackled from the earth, dancing among the clouds. When Shepard completed his historic suborbital flight, a mere 15 minutes that felt like an eternity, he had not only proven that America could send a human into space, but had ignited a fire of inspiration that would fuel generations. The nation erupted in celebration as news spread like wildfire, a shared victory that transcended political boundaries and united citizens in a common cause. Children in classrooms across the country learned about Shepard's journey as if it were a fantastical tale from a storybook, filled with dreams of becoming astronauts, scientists, and explorers themselves. The public's enthusiasm surged, and support for space exploration blossomed like spring flowers after a long winter. In the years that followed, NASA would not only continue to push the boundaries of human exploration, but also inspire a global movement, fostering international cooperation in the quest for knowledge beyond our own planet. The Mercury program was just the beginning, a stepping stone to the moon and beyond, a testament to the human spirit's unyielding desire to explore the unknown. As the stars twinkled overhead that night, many looked up and saw not just distant lights, but a future filled with promise, one that was made possible by the bravery of a few, the vision of many, and the endless possibilities that lay ahead in the boundless expanse of space. On a sun-drenched morning in the spring of 1961, the air at Cape Canaveral was electric with anticipation, a palpable pulse of excitement that coursed through the gathered crowd. Overhead, wispy clouds drifted lazily across the sky, casting fleeting shadows over the gleaming metallic shell of the Freedom 7 capsule. Just beyond the horizon, the vast Atlantic Ocean shimmered like a blanket of sapphires, a reminder of both the beauty of Earth and the uncharted possibilities that lay beyond. Among the throng of journalists, scientists, and spectators, one man stood ready to make history: Alan Shepard, a resolute pioneer of the United States space program. Dressed in a bright orange pressure suit, he appeared both anxious and determined, embodying the spirit of an age that was hungry for exploration and discovery. The race to space, ignited by the launch of the Soviet satellite Sputnik in 1957, had transformed the landscape of human ambition. Now, with Shepard's mission, America was poised to take its first bold step into the cosmos. As the countdown commenced, a hush fell over the crowd. The voice of the mission control tower crackled through the speakers, a steady cadence that counted down the seconds until liftoff. 10, 9, 8. Each number echoed in the hearts of those present, a rhythmic reminder of the enormity of the moment. Shepard's heart raced, not with fear, but with the thrill of possibility. He was not just a soldier or a test pilot. He was a representative of his nation, a beacon of hope in a time when the world was fraught with tension. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. With a thunderous roar, the Mercury Redstone 3 rocket ignited, spewing flames and smoke as it hurled itself into the azure sky. The ground trembled beneath the sheer force of its ascent, and the crowd erupted into cheers, their voices rising like the rocket itself. As Shepard soared upwards, he felt the G-forces push him back into his seat, an exhilarating reminder of the power of human ingenuity. The capsule, a marvel of engineering, vibrated and shook as it climbed through the atmosphere. Suddenly, in a moment of serene clarity, Shepard broke through the cloud cover into the vastness of space. He gazed out of the small porthole and was struck by the profound beauty of Earth below, a swirling mosaic of blue oceans, green forests, and white clouds, a fragile planet suspended in the infinite blackness of the universe. "Contacting you, Freedom 7, he transmitted, his voice steady. "I can see the entire world." His words resonated far beyond the confines of the capsule. At that moment, Shepard was not just an astronaut, he was an ambassador for peace and exploration. His brief flight lasted only 15 minutes and 22 seconds, but it marked a monumental leap for humanity. By returning safely to Earth, he ignited a spark of inspiration, fueling the dreams of countless individuals who would follow in his footsteps. As he touched down, the cheers swelled once more, but this time they were infused with a deeper sense of purpose. Alan Shepard had not only made history, he had opened the door to a new era, one in which humanity would reach for the stars and dare to dream of possibilities beyond our own planet. The world watched, united in hope, as the journey into the cosmos had just begun. The dawn of May 5, 1961, broke with a crystalline clarity over the launch site at Cape Canaveral, Florida. The air was thick with anticipation, tinged by the salty scent of the nearby Atlantic. A crowd had gathered, eyes trained on the sleek silver capsule perched atop its towering rocket. Freedom 7, as it was aptly named, stood as a testament to human ingenuity and the spirit of exploration that defined the era. As the countdown began, a palpable energy coursed through the throngs of spectators. Scientists, engineers, politicians, and everyday citizens. They were united by a singular hope to witness the United States take its first monumental leap into the cosmos. Among them stood Alan Shepard, the man destined to become the first American in space. Inside Freedom 7, he felt the vibrations of the countdown resonate through the steel walls, a symphony of engineering prowess and human ambition. 10, 9, 8. The voice of the launch director echoed over the loudspeakers, each number punctuating the thick atmosphere with the weight of history. Shepard, clad in a gleaming silver flight suit, reflected on the journey that had led him to this moment. He had trained for years, enduring rigorous tests and simulations, all while the specter of the Soviet Union's recent triumphs in space loomed large. Yet here he was, ready to etch his name into the annals of exploration. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. The moment the words were spoken, the ground trembled beneath the immense power of the Redstone rocket. Flames erupted from its base, sending a plume of smoke and fire into the azure sky. The crowd erupted in cheers, a chorus of voices celebrating the audacity of human spirit. As the rocket ascended, Shepard felt the force of acceleration pin him firmly against his seat, the G-forces a reminder of the incredible journey he was undertaking. With a thunderous roar, Freedom 7 pierced the atmosphere and surged toward the heavens, climbing to an altitude of over 116 miles. For a fleeting moment, Shepard experienced the profound silence of space, a stillness that belied the fierce energy of the world below. He gazed out at the curvature of the Earth, a vibrant blue orb suspended in the blackness, and in that instant, he became not just an astronaut, but a pioneer, a representative of humanity's relentless quest to explore the unknown. The capsule's descent was swift, and as Shepard re-entered the atmosphere, the heat shield glowed red-hot, a fiery shield protecting him from the impending return. He had completed a 15-minute suborbital flight, but the impact of his journey would reverberate far beyond those moments. As he splashed down safely in the Atlantic Ocean, a recovery ship maneuvered to retrieve him, and the world erupted in jubilation. Back on land, celebrations erupted across the nation. Freedom 7 had not only marked a victory in the space race, but had ignited a flame of pride and possibility. Schools held assemblies, children gathered to watch the news, and scientists found their laboratories buzzing with new ideas and aspirations. Shepard's flight galvanized the United States' commitment to human spaceflight, inspiring a generation to look upward and dream of the stars. In the years that followed, the spirit of Freedom 7 would fuel advancements in technology and science, leading to greater achievements in space exploration. Alan Shepard's journey was not merely a flight, it was an invitation to humanity to embrace the boundless potential of the universe, a guiding star that would illuminate the path for generations to come. On the crisp morning of February 20th, 1962, the world held its breath in collective anticipation. At Cape Canaveral, Florida, a monumental moment was poised to unfold, one that would echo through the annals of history. The sun rose slowly, casting a golden hue over the launch pad, illuminating the gleaming silver capsule perched atop the towering Atlas rocket. This was Friendship 7, the spacecraft that would carry John Glenn, a 40-year-old Marine and astronaut, into the annals of time, marking him as the first American to orbit the Earth. As the countdown began, the air buzzed with excitement. The mission control room, a hive of activity, pulsed with the energy of nearly every scientist, engineer, and pilot in the nation. The walls were adorned with charts and screens, each displaying the intricate details of the mission. Men moved purposefully, their faces set with determination and hope, as they exchanged glances that spoke of the shared dream of exploration. Nearby, the roar of the crowd swelled like a tide, their cheers mingling with the crackle of radio communications. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. The voice of the launch director boomed over the intercom, and the ground trembled beneath the force of the rocket's ignition. Flames erupted, casting a fierce light against the morning sky as the Atlas rose, a steel titan breaking free from the bonds of gravity. As it ascended, the world watched in awe, captivated by the sight of human ingenuity reaching for the stars. Inside Friendship 7, John Glenn felt the powerful thrust propelling him into the unknown. The roar of the engines reverberated through the capsule, a cacophony of sound that filled the small space. Yet, amid this tumult, Glenn found a profound silence within himself, a calm resolve that came from years of training and a deep-seated belief in the mission ahead. His heart raced, not from fear, but from the exhilaration of embarking on a journey that would inspire generations. As the rocket broke through the atmosphere, the vastness of space unfolded before him. The Earth, a vibrant blue marble adorned with swirling white clouds, hung in the black void like a precious gem. Gazing down, Glenn was struck by the beauty of the planet he called home. In that moment, he was not just an astronaut. He was a messenger of hope, a symbol of possibility in a world that was rapidly changing. After a brief ascent, the capsule reached its desired orbital altitude, and the powerful engines fell silent. Glenn's voice crackled through the radio, filled with awe as he reported, "I can see the Earth. It's beautiful." He circled the globe 3 times, each revolution a testament to human perseverance and the spirit of exploration. With each passing moment, he gathered data on cosmic radiation, the capsule's performance, and the effects of weightlessness, contributing invaluable insights to the burgeoning field of space science. As Friendship 7 descended, a wave of relief washed over the mission control team. The Earth welcomed Glenn back, the parachutes unfurling gently against the deep blue sky. Upon landing in the Atlantic Ocean, he was whisked away by a waiting Navy ship, his heart still racing with the thrill of discovery. John Glenn's flight was not merely a personal triumph. It was a moment that ignited a fervor for space exploration across the globe. It inspired a generation to dream bigger, reach higher, and believe that the stars were not just distant points of light, but destinations waiting to be explored. His journey symbolized the dawn of a new era, one where humanity dared to transcend its earthly boundaries, and in doing so, rekindled the flame of curiosity that burns in the heart of every explorer.